Retro Lab Records podcast, Wild Frontiers, episode number one. Number one.
Okay, so last time we saw y'all, or last time we played with y'all was Tedis, and y'all weren't together. You were playing your band, and he was playing with you, but the Wild Frontiers were there, and we were all jamming, and it was cool. But how did y'all come together?
Like, tell us the full story.
The full story.
We want all deets.
Go deep.
All deets.
Right. So okay, so I went to high school with this kid named Cade, and he had a band called Caravan Fuzz. Josh was the bass player. Most of the Wild Frontiers were in this band, and besides me, obviously. And I had my solo project because I had broken up with my band from high school. We were about to get signed. It just didn't work out. Crash and burn. We don't have to go into it, but because it's just like a classic high school.
It is.
Someone went to college. We said fuck you, and like we just fell apart. It happens.
It happens.
So I went solo and made the announcement, and then this guy named Zach Malloy hit me up, and he was the lead singer of the Nixons. And he writes for Carrie Underwood, he writes for David Cook, all these guys. So I start doing that. I go to Warner Brothers in Nashville, and I do my record there. Actually, no, the first one wasn't done at Warner Brothers. It was done at his house because he had this mansion studio at the time. It was amazing. It was like Jack White's neighborhood or something like that. It wasn't that, but it was something like that. But so I did like a 6-song EP with him there, and I released it. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just put this record out. I never released it online, but I was still pushing it. So I was pushing these songs at the time. I was 19. And so my buddy Cade from high school, I hadn't talked to him since high school, he hit me up, and he said, hey, my band is playing a gig in Terrell at this club called the Adelaide, which I think is now shut down.
Yeah, it's no longer a thing.
It was a hole in the wall, like no ceiling.
Yeah, dude,
it was one of the best gigs ever.
Well, that's good. That's good.
It was total Denton, like reminiscent of just a crazy punk show with ceilings that you could touch with your hand because it was so low.
Yeah. Ceiling was falling. There was like
It was
the little
very
plaster
intimate
that was
show.
like falling. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
awesome.
half
during
gone.
our set.
It was badass.
The roof was falling.
Tearing the building
kidding,
apart
it's
with
called
your
over
music.
here.
Can't play too loud.
But basically, I get out there, I find out that I wasn't supposed to be on the bill because it was metal night, and they do a show twice a month or something. They do like one non-metal night, one metal night because it's Terrell, and there's one club ever in Terrell or something. So I talked to the owner. I'm like, hey, man, I drove like an hour. Can we just make an exception? Because my buddy's band is here, too, and they're not really metal. They're heavy, but they're not metal. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't care. You're cool. So I get up there. I do an acoustic set opening up for this metal night.
Oh, my gosh.
And what's funny is I knew like at least one person from every band, and I did not plan for that to happen. But after I play, their band gets on stage, and Josh is the bass player at the time.
I was the bass player.
Very nice.
Yeah,
drummer now.
Bass,
Turn
drummer now.
guitar.
Back to my roots, but I was a bass player.
But I get
Drum
off
for
stage.
about 2 years.
I get off stage, and it was like all these kids, and they were coming up to me backstage, and it was like they were freaking out and saying, "Oh my God, I love your music, I love your songs, I love your voice." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much," and I just felt good because I was just kind of starting out doing these kind of gigs just by myself, and I was just building some confidence and some artistic character, and so their band goes on, and I'm blown away. James, the guitar player, who's the guitar player now, he had a wireless guitar set up, so when he soloed, he literally jumped off stage. He ran circles around.
Fucking was like in the pit, just like running circles. Like,
awesome.
Yeah, and I've always played shows with a bunch of timid teenagers that dressed like they were going to the mall. They didn't have any showmanship. So I see all these kids with like
Khaki
American
shorts.
flag bandanas and leopard print and stuff, and I'm like, man, these guys dress like me, and they perform like me because I've always been about showmanship. My heroes are Freddie and David Bowie and
Live to play live.
yeah, exactly. Like, why do a live show if you're not going to go all out? So these kids went all out, and it's so funny. So they came up to me afterwards, and I go, man, you guys are fucking amazing. Like, I really like your stuff. And so it was Josh and James, and James has the most. He's lightened up a bit, but he has the most serious complexion about him. There's when he stares at you with those giant eyes, like you're intimidated.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
So he
Just
goes,
staring at
"Hey,
you.
hey, man, can we talk to you outside?" Like with this angry looking face. I'm like, they're gonna beat me up.
You did a great impression. It really, I can see.
And it was
James
like
doing
like in this like alley. It was like in this really dark alley.
Yeah, it was
at
like
the time, after
it was the
set.
classic story of they
But-
bust a beer bottle and stab me and take my
But
money.
yeah, like at this time, James and I we knew we wanted to write like indie stuff or like like that kind of sound. Like that Coldplay stuff. So we wanted to write that kind of music. We wrote like a couple songs, and we were just like we just don't know a singer. We have a drummer, a bass player, a guitar player, another guitar player, but we just don't have a singer. That's like that main
Well, they had a singer.
piece.
Always.
Yeah, we had a
They
singer.
wanted to do
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
wanted a singer that specialized. in
Yeah,
what I
we
do.
wanted to completely like diss that band though, just because of weird things.
Right.
So, but
It's
yeah,
like
we,
what happened in my band, dude? It's just
yeah,
high school.
yeah. It was a high school band, but we
It happens.
but we saw Tramp, and immediately James and I looked at each other, and we were like, "He's the one." Like that's the dude, the guy with the
Lionel
guy.
Richie song comes like, "Hello."
Yeah, yeah. That's the guy. And so yeah, we asked him and immediately shut us down. Like he was like, "Oh, I already have a band. I already have a band." Like, I think he walked away, dude.
It's probably
Like,
the alley. It's
and
probably the
James
dark
and I was
alley.
like,
Scared.
"What the fuck, dude?" Like,
What really sucked though is, so I had just formed. I was just really burnt out of bands. The band that I was in high school, as I said, was just a mess. We fought. It was a constant competition for dominance and egos and stuff. And I thought, I was young, so I thought that's how a lot of bands operated, unless you were just this miraculous
Right.
brotherhood. As you know, it's hard to be in a band. I mean, you're in a marriage, you started a business, and you're all best friends, and you're brothers with 5 other fucking people.
yeah, and you're around them
Speak
all the
truth,
time.
man.
Yeah.
All the
You have
time.
to
All
smell
the time.
them
Your life.
constantly.
I was
Smell-
telling-
you
I
know,
was
you know
telling
their
him-
fetishes and shit.
yeah.
You spend so much time trying to find just good friends who are good people you can trust, and it's like,
Let alone business partners.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it goes so deep. You're married to those people. That's a strong relationship.
Exactly. But so I had just started my solo project, and I had gotten a band, a bunch of musicians, to be my backing band. But we were gonna be a rock version of like a solo. I was gonna be like a modern Rod Stewart. Like even though it's his name, it's still very rock and roll. It's still band. Yeah. I tried to do that for years, and it didn't work out, obviously, because I just caved and said I need to be in a band. Josh was already. I'll get into that. So. I shot them down. I said, "Man, I hate to say
Shot
it,
us down.
but
Oh man.
I'm just doing
Middle
the
of nowhere.
I'm doing the solo thing, and I just want to. I want to do my own thing right now because but I wanted to have a parallel career with them. I wanted to hit the road with them. I wanted to, and I just thought James should be the singer, and I told y'all.
Yeah,
I think
we-
I told y'all.
We
that.
after that we we went to like the Trent Rush like old like EP release show at the Liquid Lounge.
Yep.
Yeah, we went to that because we were actually fans of Trent's. We were like
That's awesome.
we would hit each other up in the group chat, like just James, Travis, and Casey and I, like the 4 of us, which formed the Frontiers besides one other member. Yeah. But we were like, "Yo, Trent's playing tonight. Like, let's go." And so
So y'all would show up and just hype.
yeah, dude, we would because we were
It
fa-
freaked
we
me
loved,
out.
We loved seeing
Cool, that's
Trent, man. We loved it.
They would tackle me and shit, and I'm like, I don't even know these people's names.
Yeah.
Because I forget names immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately. But I would know Josh because he would be the most excited, and
Yeah.
he would like jump on top of me and like scream my name, and it was amazing. So I played that show. I played like my EP release show. That was the first one I mentioned when I was 19. I was 20 by the time it came out, and I got mono.
Yeah.
The microphone that night.
How long did that last?
Oh man.
Mono was like,
It was so bad that it was 1 to 3 months.
yeah,
I
I,
don't-
I remember you were out.
I
for
mean,
a while,
the
man.
residuals lasted a year. It's literally a year.
That's crazy.
But I mean, you could start to function in regular life like after 1 to 3 months. I think I was in bed for literally about a month and a half to 3 months.
it's like an intense cold, or what is it?
It's
like,
everything. It's like a cold, a sinus infection. My tonsils got infected as well, so they were just like swollen size of grapefruits, and I couldn't speak or sing or anything. And you're so tired. You're so tired. This is the biggest part of it. You're so fatigued that you can't even watch a movie without feeling like you ran a marathon. Just sitting staring at something for an elongated
Sounds
period of
awful.
time literally feels like you ran a
Complete
marathon.
misery.
it's
That's what it
I-
sounds like.
I thought I was going to die. You obviously looking back, it's not that drastic, but you legitimate. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not being millennial dramatic here. Like you legitimately feel like this is the end.
Did you play a lot still while you were really sick, or did you
Towards
just
the
like
end
right?
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Right?
I'm still
Okay.
sick, but getting out of bed doesn't cause me to faint. You know what I mean? So towards the end of it, I think I started writing some new material. But for the majority of that time, I literally just sat there,
Focus on yourself.
just kind of exactly. It's kind of a self
Did
meditation.
you canceled one gig,
I
right?
canceled
You were
a
supposed to do 2 release shows.
I canceled a really big gig, and
Yeah.
what's funny is one of the kids from American Idol went and took my spot. It was before he was on American Idol. He's a friend of yours, right? Are you friends with Dalton?
Yeah, Dalton. Yeah,
Yeah, so this guy named
Yeah.
Dalton Rapatoni
he
took
went to
my
school.
spot,
Went to school with me. Yeah,
and then I found
Yeah.
that out later. I'm like,
How about that?
what the fuck? I should have been on American Idol. No,
Yeah, right.
I don't want to do an American Idol. I don't want to do American Idol.
Yeah, American Idol, man. They have a lot of spin-offs now.
Yeah.
Voice,
lot.
the voice,
The Voice, yeah,
man.
The Voice
there's
is pretty big.
Yeah, there's a new
Yeah.
one with what, P. Diddy, right?
I think so. Yeah,
guess.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like
What,
that.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Pete
Yeah.
Diddy and some other guy, but. I don't
So
know.
where'd you go from there? How did you when did you say yes to them?
Well, okay,
Oh,
so
well.
I shot them down initially, but we
Mhm.
started just playing together just because we enjoyed playing
We
together.
became friends.
Yeah, we became friends first.
Like as one entity or as like separate?
Not
separate
really as
bands?
anything. Not really
Okay.
as anything.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
more of
Okay.
just like, hey, let's just get together and see what
Okay.
happens. Because at that
Yep.
point, my backing band had kind of just
Yeah.
sputtered out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was like, at this point, I was trying to work them to be my backing band, and they were trying to work me to be their singer. We thought about doing Trent Rush
Yeah.
and the Wild Frontiers, but we decided against that.
Yeah.
But we got together and we worked up one of my songs that I'd written for my upcoming record. Well, the record that's out now for me. But we got together. We worked up a song called "Mary," and it was kind of the first one of the first ones I wrote for the record I have out now.
Very nice.
And it was magical.
It was awesome.
It was magical, and
Nice.
like they were pulling ideas straight out of my
Yeah.
head, like it was just being
That-
translated.
I remember that
immediately.
rehearsal very perfectly.
Yeah, it was a couple of
because it
them.
was just like, man, this is like it was like the first like rehearsal. Like I was on drums or whatever. I played drums like a few times, but we've never played a show or anything at the Wild Frontiers.
Right.
And so like my first time like playing drums and first time having like a really good singer and a really
Wow.
good band. Like I was like, all right, let's like.
It was in a living room.
Let's try.
Yeah, it was in a living
perfect.
room.
It was in a
Probably
living
about
room half the size of
half
this.
the size of
garage.
this.
Really?
And yeah, there's like
That's the
family pictures
best,
everywhere
man.
and shit.
That's just the best.
Parents are in the next
Parents were
room.
the next room. They were like, keep it down.
No, they
But-
weren't. They weren't. They were
But-
actually cool.
Yeah, they were cool.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we-
always
we-
great to have nice support.
Yeah, and then we wrote. Well, we kind of just played to Mary.
Well, you wrote.
we wrote a little bit.
Well, I mean, I would say wrote, but like the parts that were being played were very appropriate and was very
Yeah.
reminiscent of actually what's on the record now.
Mhm.
And so we did that, and they booked a gig in Fort Worth at
Tomcats.
excuse me, at Tomcats, and we just decided, okay, so we don't have enough material to play like a show or anything. So what if we just do this? You guys just play the instrumentals to the songs that you're writing. It's like 4 songs, and then the 5th song I come up on stage with my guitar, and I front y'all, and we play Mary.
That's how bad we wanted to play a show as Frontiers. We were like,
Yeah.
we didn't have a singer. We
This
just
was
like,
years
yeah.
ago, by
We-
the way. Too.
and we-
This wasn't
we-
recently.
yeah, we wrote like
okay,
songs
wow.
that already had like verses and chorus, verse, chorus, but we didn't have we didn't have lyrics.
Yeah.
So we just said, let's just play it. Let's
Fuck
just have
it.
yeah, fuck it. Let's just have
Really,
fun.
man.
And that was
Yeah.
the first show. Yeah, February 16th.
Damn, you remember the
2015.
date.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah. It was like
Yeah,
2015 or 2016.
I think it was 20. I think it was 26.
I think it's 26. But I remember it was February 16th because I saw the ticket stub. Yeah, it was. And
But
that
yeah, there was actually a decent amount of people there because it was like a good bill.
Yeah.
So by the time because they were the opening band of the night, and I'm like, all right, this is just gonna be fun. It's gonna be nobody there. But by the time they were done, they had just their instrumentals that attracted some people. I was like, wow, this guy's got a lot of spirit, even if there's no music to it. It's just, it's
I
just.
mean, dude,
instrumentals.
that's one thing I've always noticed when seeing the Wild Frontiers live is y'all's stage setup. You know, y'all used to have a tree with some lights.
Oh,
in it,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
we
just
still-
yeah,
We've got a
dude, the
rug.
big
Yeah,
a rug, too.
We've gone
Yeah,
to like doing
dude,
curtain
y'all
drops.
go out,
We've done like
we
light
do
shows.
more.
and
We do
we want to do
really.
more. Yeah,
you
we
guys
wanna
got to
do
come
more.
see us.
We
Dude,
wanna do
yeah,
more,
man.
yeah.
I mean, when's your next show? I mean,
We're doing a basement show in Denton on the 10th. If you guys want to come out. for that.
JJ's.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they just opened it. Yeah,
Yes.
reopened
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's so funny
reopened
because
it,
people
yeah.
get so turned off. You say, "Yeah, we're playing J&J's Pizza," because if they're not from Denton, they don't know. But J&J's Pizza is like a renowned music venue. It's got.
I mean, it closed down, right?
Yep,
I
they
think so.
renovated
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They made it not a shithole, and
So now it's just one big place. Like they took out the floor, right? Didn't they
I'm
make
not
it-
sure. I haven't
Okay.
seen it, but I've
Okay.
just heard it's.
It's
I've heard it's like
I heard
a
it
real
looks,
place.
Yeah, like I heard it's pretty.
It's more of a venue that
Yeah,
sells
that's
pizza. Whereas
And it's
that'd
right
be
there, the
cool.
square of Denton, dude. It's just
Yeah,
looks
like
in the
Andy's
heart
right
of
there.
Denton,
And then,
yeah.
yeah.
Do y'all know who
That's
y'all
awesome.
are playing with that night at J&J's?
Yeah, it's the Polarity, Day 4, Strong Bad. I think that's it.
Strong bad.
Strong
That's
Bad.
hilarious.
We're
Strong
headlining.
Like
bad.
from home.
We're headlining,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it's a headlining show.
So we'll be
That's
headlining. I don't know if we'll have the full theatrical setup, but we'll definitely have some of the stuff that we do live. And believe me, some of the stuff is quite a bit. We do a lot
Awesome,
of
dude.
crazy stuff.
We
Definitely got to come out.
the only time we played J&J's, we tried to set up a projector, and it was our first time doing the
Oh, yeah.
projector.
It's so badass when you guys did the projector.
But
thing,
it was a
yeah.
nightmare. That was the
Yeah.
first time we did it, and it was a
Yeah.
nightmare.
You just got to keep at it because
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah.
thought. So we do this. We do like a silhouette. I don't want to like give too much away, but we do like a silhouette curtain drop in the beginning of the set. And
Oh,
our
nice.
first time doing that was in a garage house show in Denton at the Fannin, and it was awesome.
That's
it was
awesome,
like
dude.
it worked
try.
out.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
trying new things at like little house shows or whatever.
That's like what you said a bit. You saw James run. It's like go all out. You're performing.
Yeah.
You're entertaining.
Why get up there and just play a couple songs? Like that's
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah,
Nobody
it is.
wants to. Even
That
if
is
your
pretty
songs
boring.
are amazing,
Yeah.
you
Like-
have to have something to look at.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
came to see a show, you know.
It's
Yeah,
like
you're-
watching a band
you're going out-
practice.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Even though
going
some
out to a
bands are
show.
different, where it's like them, like the songs move you a lot, or.
That's different.
But you
though.
know that is different. Yeah.
That's.
But if
excuse
you're
me.
coming to see a rock band, I mean, you should probably see a show.
that's-
like
Expect
you
to
know,
get rowdy.
sweat
Definitely.
and bleed. Yeah.
See
so-
that
Yeah.
like with the artists you're
You
want to
see that? Yeah. You want to like that. The Tomcat show, like when Trent walked, like when he walked on, like to do like his song, like it just felt like
Yeah, people went
dude,
wild.
Dude, it just felt like magic.
Because
like,
it's
it
like
was
who's
crazy.
this? Who's
Dude, it's
this
crazy.
guy?
Yeah.
I was dressed crazy. Like they're like, who's this? This is some crazy
Yeah, it's like
next level stuff, and we're at Tomcats, like at this
Yeah.
opening band at a show, like, and this is you just want to like do your best
Yeah.
to outdo the last time you played every single time.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at
And I
it.
know
too.
I had no intention of like trashing my set, but like I think I.
Yeah, you went so crazy. He,
Yeah.
like, threw his drums around.
Yeah,
and
I know.
not all the way, but you
not all the way,
definitely.
but it was like I was like I didn't think I was gonna do that.
Now-
I
Stood
just
up.
thought, it just like kind of.
Was this your Gretsch set, or was it?
No, this is the
No,
truth.
This is
when
an
I was
old
endorsed-
set.
yeah, this is when I
Okay,
endorsed
because you
the truth.
recently
Yeah.
converted, right?
This is
Yeah,
the one you
yeah,
could
when
set
I-
on
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah,
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 that's
you can't mess
awesome.
with
Yeah.
that Gretsch.
But
But
Dude.
basically, we
Yeah.
played that show, and we just kind of something happened with some parents stuff that I got really freaked out by. So I just kind of said, "All right, I'm going back to solo stuff
Yep.
because I can't wait for parents to be okay with things. I've had to deal with that. I'm an independent guy. I was 20. I was ready to go. You know, I had already recorded in real studios in Nashville. This and that. I didn't want to wait on parents to approve things. I don't fucking care
Yeah.
about that. But
Parents ruin
basically, I got
bands.
turned off by that, and I just went and did my solo project thing for a while. And for a good while, it worked out. We got booked for a tour, and my dad was my drummer, and
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
bass
that's-
player was my bass player, Dave Farguson and Fred Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad said I was just playing guitar. I was just fronting the band and playing guitar, and it was just Trent Rush. So my dad, we got booked for this tour. It was like just a mini little Texas run, and it was our first time as this project doing that. And my dad was like, "Man, I'm gonna need a drum tech." And I said, "Well, Dad, what about Josh? I mean, I know he'll be down to do it. He likes just doing stuff like this." So I called Josh to be the drum tech, and I had a thought because I knew Josh played amazing guitar. I said, "Dude, what if you played lead guitar on this tour and
That's
tech
wild.
drums for my dad? All you need was an amp and a guitar. It's not like
Yeah.
you'd get in the way." So
Yeah.
we did one rehearsal, and we just knew immediately, okay, this is how this is how this project
That's
is.
Yeah.
badass,
He gave me a couple
man.
days to learn the songs and
Yeah,
or
and
the
he
set.
he
Yeah.
showed up like 80% learned, and which is
That's
more than
cool.
I could say for 99% of the guitar players I've ever worked with.
That's wild.
A lot of them
That's
say,
awesome.
"Yeah, man, I could be your guitar player." They show up and they've never even listened. It's not. They just noodle. They just think they can noodle. I'm like, no.
Lyrics.
We are not a jam band, dude.
Yeah.
Like we have parts, and
Yeah.
it's important to just add. Because once you learn the parts, you can add creativity on top of it.
That's
It's like
it.
you have to have your cake before you can add your icing.
The
You can't
bass.
start with a fucking icing.
It's the foundation, man.
So yeah, he became
Yeah.
the guitar player of my band, and we did that for months.
Yeah.
He started dropping seeds into my mind about singing for the
Yeah.
Wild Frontiers. They were making
secretly.
waves.
That's why I tried to do it.
Because they were making waves too. They got past any parental approval. Now all the parents are totally accepting and 100% on board and cannot be more excited for us.
Yeah,
Dude,
Because
that's
we've
awesome.
proven
Very
ourselves that
happy.
we're not just
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Oh,
We're-
dude.
we're
yeah.
doing
Like
some real stuff.
it's real passion. You guys really.
Yeah.
It's like a
care
real
about.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're making real strides. You know, we're
Yeah.
not just. I mean, we just recorded in a major studio, this and that, and so we set up one rehearsal to play one giant show that they had booked. It was at Trees, and just the first
Damn.
song at the first rehearsal was like, okay, I think we need to do this full time.
So, yeah,
thus-
that first rehearsal, man. I still remember
Felt
the day he said like you.
let's
Well,
see.
actually, it was at a Trent Rush rehearsal,
Yeah,
and you were singing like one of like the Frontier songs.
I was singing 17.
You were singing 17,
because I love that.
and I think 17 was like the one that made you like kind of
It
like
was.
yeah. He was singing it. And I was just like, you're really good at that. And then I think I remember it perfectly because I looked behind your dad, like I was sitting on my
yeah, I'm sure he was
tuning my
like-
guitar or whatever, and I looked at your dad and he was just like he does that little look that he does
Yeah,
when he's
yeah.
thinking.
the gleam
He's
is
just
like.
Yeah, he was like thinking. He's like, "What if you guys need a singer still, right? And Trent needs a band." And we, with the help of like his dad is
My dad is my mentor,
Yeah.
producer, manager, and like not in a dad,
Yeah, not at
soccer
all.
dad way.
Yeah.
In a sense of like, my dad was in. For context, for anybody listening, my dad was in a really big band back in the '90s called Ugly Mustard. They were really big in Dallas in the '90s. So I don't have this soccer dad who didn't make it and wants to do push his dreams on his kids. Like we are partners.
yeah, like he knows his shit.
That's
yeah.
cool.
My
He's a
dad knows
great
more
guy.
Than, my dad knows more than anybody I've ever worked with.
He's a badass drummer. Is that his main instrument? He's
Yeah,
always played
he's
drums?
definitely
Dude,
he's
yeah,
a singer
he's good.
songwriter now
Yeah.
of a band called Fear of Gravity. But
That's
drums
awesome, man.
is his drums are his
True
like
passion.
Yeah,
life.
great. That
So it was
guy.
super cool to like have him, and then he became my mentor, and
Yeah.
started teaching me some things, and I'd stop bleeding, after every set, because at one point.
Probably a good thing.
Dude, yeah, at one point my hands would stop. They like this one won't ever heal ever again for some reason. Like it's always black. It's been black for about 2 years now, straight. Yeah,
It's like when
I'm a
you
baby, I
like when you
can't-
in elementary school you like cut yourself with a pencil and there's like a dot there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
dot on my hand right here.
what
That's what?
Like a
Yeah,
a
like
pencil
graphite
lead?
and like I'm sure I've had that I think since like first grade.
Right.
So
yeah. I think I have one like on the side of my leg.
yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time I pick up a guitar, I'm like, nope. My fingers hurt.
Oh man, you just got to destroy your.
especially
life.
like
Definitely
black
destroy
and
it.
green
Yeah.
afterwards.
Destroy. Yeah. You got fingers, skin just hanging out.
Yeah,
hanging down.
yeah. It's
That's
all,
the
like,
best.
dried up and
Yeah.
white,
That's exactly right.
What?
It's like fish.
What was the last show you guys played? When was the last time you played?
The door.
It was a door show in
Oh,
December because
man.
right after that,
Closed.
and
Right
that
when
was
they-
the
right when they
best show
closed down,
we have
yep.
ever played.
Yeah,
That's
we went
nice,
all
dude.
out.
That show, we rented a giant lighting system. We
Oh,
bought a
dude.
fog machine. We bought a giant fog machine, and we had like a coordinated set with theatrics involved, and we just all out.
That's
You have to
awesome.
go all
You
out,
have
you
to.
know?
That was
You
one of
have
the
to.
Doors' last shows, right? Because it was
Yeah.
closing down.
Yeah, I think it was like the last show. No, it was
I mean-
last week of the. I don't know.
Still, they're closed now,
That's
right? The
crazy,
Doors.
I think they're
man. That's
moving.
such a.
But
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Moving?
essentially
Okay.
they're
Yeah,
closed.
Is the
Now,
is
Profit,
the pro-
Profit Bar's still
Profit's
open though,
still there,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
just gonna cut off the middle hallway or
Yeah,
something.
because
Yeah.
Profit Bar is the size of
So
a
the
coffee
weird
shop.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
I guess.
connection.
It's a
is
great
weird.
little venue, man. Especially when you pack it out. It's a small stage.
Yeah, Profit
but
Bar is
Profit
it's
Bar,
fun.
It is
you
fun
know?
when you
It's-
pack
It's
it
just
out.
it's just on a weird side of Deep Elm.
I just prefer.
You know?
Yeah,
Dude,
it's just
like
it's
on
on
like
a.
It's on
That's
the
why
dark
the door
side.
struggles.
It's really dark over there.
That's why the door struggled. Nobody wants to cross that because you have to cross
No.
an intersection to get
Yeah.
to it. Whereas all the other clubs, right? See, I grew up in Curtain Club.
Yeah.
I grew up in Trees and Curtain Club because Doug and Clint have always been my folks band and all that stuff. Like
That's awesome.
they've just worked together forever.
That's cool.
So I grew up in those clubs. So those are the two clubs that I consider home. You know, Curtain and Trees. So every time I play somewhere that's not there, I always feel like I'm cheating on them.
Right.
But hey, if you get a good show, you get a good show. You know, you have to.
Those are great venues.
Yeah.
Trees.
Curtain Club was our
Trees
first
is awesome.
show.
Yeah,
It was
Curtain
our
Club.
first show. Yeah.
When I was 8
Curtain's
years
great.
old, me too.
Yeah. That's wild,
Yeah.
man. That's
Was there a
wild.
nice turnout to that last Door show? Was there like?
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
We outsold the headliner.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
That's
Who was the headliner?
awesome.
The
should we say-
Technicolors.
Okay.
The Technicolors,
Yeah,
okay.
I think
So
it's
you
awesome.
guys
Mad
connected
Mexicans.
on music. Obviously, you heard each other's sound, but like
Yeah.
as far as band influences, do y'all share any common interests? Like
Pretty
what
much.
bands would be main
Pretty-
influences?
Pretty much every band that somebody
Every band.
likes. 4 out of the 5 guys loves that band.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strokes,
That's awesome.
Coldplay,
Definitely.
Hippocampus, the Struts.
The Struts, very much.
Struts, yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
him,
Catfish
him
and
and I
the Bottom.
bonded from the Struts and Catfish and stuff.
Yeah,
very well.
I got to hang out with Struts. That was
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
They
ran-
came
yeah.
to Dallas. It was right after they released Could Have Been Me, so they were big, but they weren't like as big as they are now. And they were doing a show at Dada, but Dada got rained out, like it flooded. So Dada
Shit.
gave it to Curtin. So I gave, and my buddy's the monitor, was the monitor guy at Curtin. So I gave him a ride to work because it was like the day after Halloween. We were gonna go to Los Angeles in a couple days, and we had partied the night before. So I gave him. So he left his car in Deep Ellum. So I was giving him a ride to his car because he got called in because of the show. And I was like, he's like, man, I got some fucking sold out show to do because he didn't know him. And I'm like, oh, what band is it? Some band called the Struts. And I just go, what the fuck? So I said, can you get me in? And so I just go in. I see them. I talk to him for just a second. And I was like, that was a fun day, even though it hadn't really started. So I sit in the lighting booth, just trying to get it's closer to the show. I just trying to be out of the way. I didn't want to get in the way. And their tour manager comes up and he's like, oh, good. Are you running lights so I don't have to? And I'm like, yeah, I am. Hi, I'm Trent. I'm your lighting guy. I just bullshitted my way through.
That's it.
You did? You like actually? Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
So
Nice.
Chad, the sound guy, gave me a quick demonstration of that specific board because I'd ran lights in theater in high school, so I knew lighting boards a little bit. He gave me a quick demonstration of that board, and I found out I got the basics. Opening band went on, and I just did basic lights and just kind of played with it, got the feel for it. Then the Struts come on. I gave them the best damn lighting show.
That's some
awesome.
epic
show.
music, man.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's
They've been opening for Foo Fighters.
Yep.
Dude, yeah,
I
they've
had
been,
a friend
they've been
who was
touring, they've been
father.
touring with them, and
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
yeah.
But
the Rolling
afterwards,
Stones too.
They enjoyed the show so much. It was a sold out show. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen, and I got the privilege to run lights for it. After
That's
the show, Adam came up to us and to Jimmy and I, this other sound guy that
Oh,
ran the
Jimmy.
monitors. Yeah, you guys.
Jimmy.
Yeah,
It's
Jimmy.
his twin.
Yeah.
Are you my God, dude, you guys do
twins,
look
dude.
shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Blonde hair.
Jimmy,
Yeah, if you had blonde hair with
Jimmy
like a
was
little
our
backwards
first show
hat.
sound guys.
Dude, you look just like him,
Yeah,
dude.
Jimmy and I
Yeah.
are like
Oh,
best
bro, we
friends.
always get
Dude,
Every
confused.
time I
Fucking
go to a
khaki shorts
show.
and Game of Thrones shirts
Yeah,
and sandals,
dude,
dude. You're
my
you're
gosh.
fucking Jimmy,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, he was sound guy at the
Yeah.
King Giz show. I don't know
Every
if
show
y'all-
we go see, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, there's Jimmy.
Dude, yeah, he,
Jimmy's
he's,
dude,
uh,
he
the
does
scene, bro.
Kurt Vile. He does
Yeah.
like
He's one of my best
Really?
friends.
yeah,
Kurt Vile,
Lil
that's
Yachty, is that what his name is? He came in town. He did him. and-
Really?
yeah, he does a lot of the tree shows.
He does.
Man. Yeah,
Every tree
Trees
show
is-
that
yeah,
They're out there unless it's a day off. But Adam came up to Adam of the Struts came up to Jimmy and I and said, "Hey, we're gonna go out and celebrate if you guys want to come out." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So we
Plans
go out
canceled.
with the Struts and partied with them. I was 4 days before my 21st birthday. Luke, the singer, was very drunk, and his girlfriend Laura was under 21 at the time. So she was sober, but he was drunk, and he thought I was Van McCann from Catfish and the Bottlemen. For some reason, I don't know why Van would be all the way over in Dallas running lights for the Struts when he's got his own band that's even bigger. But it was hilarious. It was adorable because like he puts his arm around me and he tries to kiss me, and it was like I'm like because I told him I was.
There you go. Yeah, play along.
I'm like, yeah, I'm Van McCann from Catfish and the Bottlemen.
yeah,
And
yeah, man.
he tried to kiss me. I'm like, whoa, I'm not. I don't. I'm just kidding. And he goes, even better, you're sexier. So yeah, that was one of the
That's
best
awesome.
nights of my life.
Are they
That's
British?
cool, man.
Yeah, they're from.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, shit. They have like a Queen vibe to them. Kind
Very
of, to
much.
me.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's Queen and Bowie. That's like
Ah.
that's Luke's two biggest
Yeah.
influence, I would say. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah,
When
very
guitar's your main instrument?
Yeah, I play guitar, piano. I also do some like crazy instruments. I also play ocarina, Irish tin whistle.
Whoa.
What is
Uh,
an ocarina?
yeah.
Did you play Zelda as a kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a real instrument. That's a native. That's an
What?
old Native American instrument.
That is
Holy
wild.
shit, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And when I was like 13, I spent like $85 on like a really, really professional 12-hole ocarina, and it's one of the most beautiful sounding instruments I
that
have
After
ever.
you beat Zelda.
Countless times.
For the 5th time.
Yeah, I got
Gotta get one of these things.
Yeah, I got into ocarinas because I was obsessed with Zelda.
That
as a
is
kid.
cool.
You gotta remember the songs too on Zelda.
I played. It came. What's cool is it came with a Zelda songbook.
Did it really?
Because every ocarina maker, I'm good buddies with one named Cloud. He's actually kind of a really big ocarina maker. His ocarinas are considered to be some of the best in the world. But
That's awesome.
he knows that he knows his market. So they send you a Zelda songbook with every ocarina you buy.
Do you bust it out at shows, or do you ever
No,
play it still?
I've never.
That'd be
The only
awesome.
time I've taken it out of the house to like play it around is at Scarborough Fair because that's where they sell them as well. And I'm good friend. It's funny. The ocarina making circle is kind of like this tight knit thing, even around the world. Everyone kind of knows each other. So Fred, one of the another like big ocarina maker who is the vendor at Scarborough Fair. He lives in like North Carolina or something, but he travels with the fair to sell his instruments. And so every time I go to Scarborough Fair, I bring it and we play together. And he's a cool dude.
It's cool to whip it out randomly. Like I saw Monoculture at
Yeah.
Double Wide last night, and they always he'll bust out Olin, the lead singer. He'll bust out a flute and just go
Yeah.
for it while they're jamming. It's pretty.
That's not
cool.
a bad idea.
Yeah.
To make it really theatrical. Maybe not that one because I'm so terrified of breaking it. But Irish Tin Whistle would be kind of cool too because it's metal. So
Yeah, that's I've never seen. One
Have you
of
seen
those
Titanic?
demos. Yeah.
you know that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
That's an Irish.
Yeah.
Tin.
Okay. Sounds Irish.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So you picked up a guitar at like
Touchy.
13. That was your-
Yeah, 15, 16. That's when I picked up guitar, and I picked up piano as a kid, but that was forced to, so I wasn't really into it. So I did piano just like normally, and I'm still not that good to this day. But I picked up guitar at 16 or at 15 because I wanted to, and my dad taught me basic chords. I taught the rest to myself. Started writing songs at 16, and they've gotten a lot better over time.
That's awesome.
What's cool is though the first song I ever wrote, I still play out to this day. I've edited it since, but I still play it out to this day. And it's mostly the original lyrics. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that my first song was a complete shit about a boy or a girl or some shit.
something you can
Right.
salvage. You can keep. You're like, no, this is good. I can keep doing
Because
this.
all the songs I wrote after that sucked.
Hey man, you gotta,
Gotta
write
write-
100 songs to get one good
there
one.
it is.
Yeah.
I have to say it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
So
like-
okay, so your main instrument's drums, then, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you started on? Is that like
yeah, I
number
was
one,
about
or-
5 years old, and I did the whole like pots and pans thing as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Matt. So I did that. And, my stepdad, he's a pastor of a church. So I grew up. That's how I learned how to like understand.
Church. Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
Yep.
church. Yeah, for a lot of
Dynamics.
reasons. Yeah, yeah. So I learned how to like get the idea of songs when you're playing them through church, like the vibes,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if that makes-
Structure.
I don't- yeah, the structure.
never even
and,
knew what a
like,
chorus
the,
or a
the
verse
feel
was.
of it, when to play hard and when to not and stuff. So I did that. But then I was like 9 years old, and we'd moved in this small town. It was like 300 people max in this town. Like it was small. There was 60 people in the high school.
Holy
And,
crap.
yeah, it was a super
Out
small
of
school. Yeah,
4
I didn't know
grades.
this. Yeah, it was
Oh,
super small.
man.
Yeah, really small town in Texas.
Dude, that's
And I kind of like, I was still playing drums like every Sunday and stuff, but I'd started playing guitar just because I wanted to write songs, So for Christmas I got like a guitar, and I got like a little Beatles songbook.
nice.
So I started learning how to
yeah.
play that, and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and that's how I got into like really cool bands that had really cool guitar parts and stuff, So, but through all that, I learned how to write music, and I was in a few bands. Like I was in a lot of heavy bands, like probably like 4 or 5, until I moved out of that town into Wiley, where I met the other Frontier guys.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and so
All of them were from Wiley.
Wiley?
All of them.
yeah,
lived in-
yeah, we all went to the same high school. Like,
Oh,
we
that's
actually
cool,
live on the
that's
same
cool.
block too.
Wow.
Oh, shit, man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
the classic story. Man.
Lucky
Yeah,
man.
class
If
story,
I
yeah.
did.
Yeah, but yeah, drums and guitar, like the only two I really play.
They've always
I
had
like
that
I like to
missing
play.
link, which was me.
That's right.
Yeah, Trent was actually in the town next to us, Rockwall,
Oh,
which is
no,
crazy.
cut that out.
Oh man, no love for
Oh.
Rockwall.
we like all live together. Yeah.
I can go into it, but he'll be mad. I'm
There's
just
a
Sorry, Rockwall.
I grew,
Sorry,
up there, I grew up there
Rockwall.
19 years. I grew up there 19 years. I moved to Dallas when I was 19. I had a I'll just be quick about it. I had a very, very negative experience there growing up. It was a very bad childhood. The town is run by a very corrupt church, and I was accosted constantly by the people that go to that church, and for dressing the way I do, having the hair I do, looking the way I do, acting the way I do, being me, just being who I am.
Yeah.
And basically, I struggle with a lot of depression. I mean, most artists do. I understand that. I'm not any more special than anybody else, but I do want to bring to light, like, if you're trapped in a small town, just get out as soon as you possibly.
It's easy, man. You can.
I try not to go there as much as I can, just because it was a very bad experience.
There's a whole world, and those people are just trapped.
Yeah, it's a
like
bubble.
just
Seriously.
they're in their own little
Sure.
bubble.
It's
I mean, forget America. You think about the people over the world that have their everyday lives that people don't even think twice about once. Like they're just so into their phones and stuff nowadays. It's crazy.
Yeah. Take your dollar bills and throw them away.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. Just to get back on topic here, I mean, what's your favorite like Deep Ellum venue or Dallas venue, I should say?
Oh man, there's
to play or to go see
to
the show?
play or to
To
go see
play.
shit. To play.
Definitely to play. Yeah.
To play. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Most fun.
For you.
For me,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
You
Curtain
sold
Club,
yourself.
right?
American Airlines
Yeah.
Center.
Oh, well, hey, yeah, shit. Go big and go home.
Oh man, when we played, it was great.
Venues that I have played that are my favorite, hands down, Trees.
Trees,
I
yeah.
love. So I like
Trees is
the
cool.
venue, the venue of Trees, but my favorite staff, I have to say Curtain Club, because those people are my family.
Yeah.
I know every single person that works there. I know almost every person that has worked there, and I consider those people to be my family.
That's really cool.
Always.
It's like the heart of Deep Ellum right there.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
the heart.
It's one of the oldest clubs too.
Yeah,
Like,
if you don't know anybody at the Curtain Club, you don't know Deep Ellum.
man,
I didn't-
not exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Seriously,
That's a great way
Curtain
to put it.
Club is like, I mean, the Door and Private Bar, but like you said, it's just on that other end.
The door's
but-
like really nostalgic. I feel like
It is,
so many people, like that's your first show.
Yeah, like a
almost
lot,
everyone's
Yeah,
first
lot
show
of
is
like
one.
big bands will go there, and yeah, there'll be a lot of people.
Pack it
showing
out.
A lot of
too.
14-year-olds could like get in because they allowed them, and they
Yeah.
would play like
Yeah.
Young the Giant
Yeah.
or something would play.
A lot of old bands, like There Was Prada and stuff play there.
Yeah.
and,
Dude,
like
I
a lot
remember
of heavy bands, like from 07, 08, kind of era, play there.
More metal bands.
Lot
I saw
more-
Thrice pack it out.
Well, Snarky played there like a year ago. Snarky Puppy, and there'll be some cool acts, but like other than that, like there won't be like
It's just like a little.
you won't
local
catch
venue.
Paramore there or something.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Like you won't see like someone like that, or Cher, but you'll. I don't know. I really like the Kessler Theater a lot.
I've never been there.
No,
That's
you don't-
yeah. I
Literally,
have
it-
to. I was thinking Deep Ellum strictly, but I do have.
What's
to
it deep down? Yeah.
Kessler Theater is
Kessler is the
the
coolest.
greatest venue.
That was
in
the
Dallas.
that was my favorite venue to ever play.
Yeah,
and to hang
I
out
changed
in.
my answer.
We'll note that in there.
I was thinking strictly Deep Ellum, but yeah, the Kessler is both in staff and just experience to
Dude.
play, because
That's awesome.
it's the best. I mean, it's some of the best sound.
Yep.
It's the kindest staff. They don't feel burnout in any way.
No.
It's,
Yeah,
Jeff, the
that's-
owner, is a long-standing DFW music scene veteran, and the guy to this day is still just as enthusiastic about music and getting real artists to come in and play, and also giving a chance to artists like me, because he let me do my release show there, opening up for a local band
Wall of
called
Orange.
Wall of Orange, and it was awesome. It was
That's
amazing, and I've seen some of the best bands in my life at Kessler. So to go there and play in their green room is amazing. Their green room.
That's
is,
like the best, dude. You go into like a really nice green room.
It
you
was
know,
the
'cause
that and Trees, but even more so than Trees. It's
Yeah,
a
Trees
it's
have
a
nice green
fully. It's got the chandelier, the couch.
Oh,
It's
man.
just a.
they fed you
That's-
and
yeah.
shit, dude.
It's
What's
Wow.
the?
They give you a bottle of wine.
What's the like?
God,
Yeah,
How
it was
big
really
is that
nice.
venue? The Kessler.
500 seater, so slightly smaller than Trees. It's more intimate than Trees, I will
Yeah.
say.
I think that's why I
That's
like it so
cool.
much too.
Yeah.
Is it
But
look-
it's like
it-
theater style, right?
yeah, it looks like it's
Kind of.
big, but it's small.
Really?
Don't
Okay.
picture Granada, because Granada is like a downward slope.
Yeah.
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 Kessler is one balcony seating, just
Okay.
one, and it's still very close to the stage, and a giant standing room.
Yeah.
And sometimes the standing room will have table and chairs, depending on the guest, but most of the time it's one standing room and one VIP balcony seating.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we got to check that out. And you said that's in Dallas. Is it?
It's
near
in Oak
Deep Ellum?
Cliff.
It's- yeah,
Oh,
it's in Oak Cliff,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
but it's not like
don't be afraid to go to Oak Cliff.
I mean, is it
It's-
near like Spencer, right?
Is it near Spinster?
Ah, man, I haven't been down there in a while, so I feel like it is.
Somewhere over there.
That's
Oak
like the
Cliff
first
is
time
Oak
I've ever
Cliff,
been
right?
in that part of
So
town.
yeah, I have no clue.
That's the only reason why I've ever.
My mom grew up around that area, so I should.
Yeah.
I mean, really though. I mean, Oak Cliff is kind of like a cultural arts
Yeah.
district now.
I love
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
on the up and up.
Yeah.
They've got some nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're also gentrifying it and kicking people out that can't afford anywhere else to go, so that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, of
That
course.
happened to a friend of mine, and he had to move to way west of here just to be able to afford a place, and it was
That
just really
sucks.
sad.
I think it was like really nice way back in the day. Like a bunch of rich people. I
Well,
think.
there's Highland Park,
Sure.
and Highland Park is the good area, but
Yeah.
my mom grew up in Oak Cliff in the 60s and 70s,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was
Rough.
Yeah.
Even then. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
it was
Forever.
yeah, it was arguably worse then.
That's wild.
Because she would go to sleep to like helicopters and gunshots. And
I had
shit.
I had
my
friends
mom's
who lived
my mom's gangster.
Could you imagine that, dude? Going to sleep to that?
Jeez. Man,
It's funny
that's
though because you meet her
crazy.
and you
Like you're
never
Grand Theft
suspect that
Auto,
she
just-
grew up in
Yeah,
like,
right.
like
Just
you're-
blah, blah, blah,
But you're not like the character. You're like you're the civilian.
civilian.
yeah,
watch
you're
over
just
the
you're
cars
not
running
you're
after you,
NPC.
like-
yeah, you just like
Don't carry $15
I,
in your
did,
pocket.
I didn't know for the longest time.
like $17, $16, like
Bomb
really
Factory?
odd.
Yeah, Bomb Factory's
$6
great.
That, but
It's all the
I
person
thought it
had.
just opened up. Apparently, it was a venue.
It was like
before?
Trees. It was a venue
was
for a
like
while,
Trees.
closed for a while. Same
Yeah.
guy that rebought Trees opened up Bomb Factory.
Okay, see, when we were at Trees, we kept seeing ads for Bomb Factory shows. So I'm like, they're obviously associated. The Bomb Factory is awesome, though.
Oh,
I saw
That's
it.
a great venue. I just saw
I've always
Bon
wanted
Iver
to
there.
go there.
You
I
just
saw
Bon
Robert
Iver.
Plant.
You were
At the
there?
Bomb Factory.
Yeah, James, Casey,
Yeah.
Travis.
Oh,
Not
dude,
Travis, but they were all there,
couldn't miss
dude.
Robert Plant.
He was Robert playing the Supersonics or something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
shape
Is that what-
shifters, earth
Ship- yeah,
shifters,
something like that. I heard
yeah.
that was a sick
I mean, everyone's
show,
there
man.
to see Robert Plant do Zeppelin. You
Yeah.
know, they
Yeah,
don't really
exactly.
care. I mean, his new stuff was cool. It's very earthy, but man, when you open up
You-
with Daisy Confused and Lemon
Fuck.
Song,
But then you're
yeah,
just
it's
sad because you only have Plant.
I think James
mean,
cried.
Yeah, I know,
James
right?
cried that night
Yeah.
when he saw
Oh,
Plant.
dude, yeah.
I'm
believe it.
so mad to go see Robert
I just
Plant.
want to see Jimmy Page. I mean, not
Is
to
he ever gonna like
down Plant.
do anything? Like,
They say maybe one
He's
more
probably, like-
tour.
yeah.
They say one more, but you know, I
are
mean,
they
it's
gonna do
getting
like the
pretty
whole
old.
like John Paul Jones and Jason Bonham thing, dude? That'd
Yeah,
be sick,
probably.
dude.
Yeah,
That'd
probably.
be sick.
Jason Bonham's the only
Yeah.
one that can, right?
Yeah.
You can't replace old John.
Yeah,
Old John
unless you get
Bonham,
like
yeah.
someone else, like Dave Illich or something. But,
Yeah.
but they probably won't do that.
All right.
Yes.
Your biggest on-stage mistakes, most embarrassing mistakes,
Most
falls,
embarrassing.
anything. Trips.
I've
most
fallen.
embarrassing.
I've fallen.
Yeah.
But those don't really bother me because I
Just
can
play it off.
chalk it up to being crazy, you know. But forgetting your own fucking lyrics sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
But it happens to
imagine
everybody.
that.
It does happen to
Yeah.
everybody. So
Oh,
like it's
dude,
embarrassing
yeah.
in the moment, but when I think back on it, it's not like one of those things that keeps me up at night where I was like, you know, like when you're going to bed and you realize, God, when I was 15 and I waved at somebody, waving at somebody else, that I want to kill myself, you know? Like it's not like that moment where you feel so cringed out by it,
Yeah.
but I'd say forgetting your own lyrics is definitely the
Mhm.
worst feeling in the world
Yeah.
on stage.
Mine is missing the cue, or like like when you're supposed to come in at a song, or like
Uh,
one time a stick flew and it hit like a girl in the crowd, like front row,
Oh!
and that was embarrassing.
Yeah, one time
Yeah, that was
I did a
embarrassing.
kick and my shoe flew off and hit my mom in the face.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That-
but it was funny though because she was like, "I'm glad it hit me and not somebody else," because there was a lot of people there, and it just happened to go towards her. Like,
Sorry, Mom.
that,
Sorry for the shit.
was it the Queens of the Stone Age? That guy Josh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, he
like,
kicked the photographer in the
Kicked
face,
camera.
dude. Josh
camera.
Homme, dude.
Went, dude.
But I heard he's like kind of a dick. I don't know if that's true or not.
Man,
He kind of has that punk rock
he
vibe.
does, Josh Homme. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
super
he
good
does.
band though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
them Crooked Vultures.
Oh, dude,
with
John Paul
Dave
Jones,
Grohl.
Dave
John Paul
Dave
Jones.
Grohl, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so obsessed with that album.
John Paul Jones.
JPJ, man. What's your favorite music decade? 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
50s, 40s, 20s.
We're
going downhill now.
1880s.
Yeah,
80s?
Mozart,
Well,
Beethoven, Sixth Symphony.
1490s are really progressive.
yeah,
Talk
I just
about
really
it.
Man,
like.
I mean, I'm gonna
experimental.
be honest. Now,
Yeah?
yeah, because like you
That's
have
a good
bands
answer.
like, and by now I mean 2000s to now. It doesn't have to just be like 2010 to now. I'm talking about like
2018.
within the last 18 years, you've got bands like Coldplay, The Strokes, The Struts, Catfish and the Bottlemen, Hippocampus, them Crooked. I mean, you've got all these amazing bands that cannot be topped except for the greats. Beside, like Queen and Bowie and Ozzy.
White Snake.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's all these.
Striper.
There's just these. It's just art is being more. It's more accessible. So therefore, it's
Extremely.
inspiring more people, and the more people inspired, the more artistic our communities are going to become.
Anybody
so much
can
freedom.
record something, with their phones nowadays. They got
Yeah,
it
it's
in their
crazy,
pocket,
man.
Exactly.
Garage
What are we doing
band.
right
or-
now?
I definitely have an
here we
argument
are.
against that as
Whatever.
well, though. Like, live in
Yeah.
the moment.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
I film one or two things for like my Instagram or Snapchat just to say, hey, I was here, and then you just put it away.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get carried away.
it's so
You can
much
get-
better as a memory in your head than a video on your phone that you'll never watch.
That's like Jack White's policy when you go see him: no cell phones.
Really?
Experience.
Yeah,
it
he's
live
because he's
for
about
what
to
it
come
is.
tour. He's
Yeah.
playing Bomb Factory.
That's literally.
Yeah,
his
he is playing Bomb
policy.
Factory. That's
I would
right.
never try to control my crowd though, because
That's wild, right?
That's kind of
That's
like
his policy,
That is
man.
pretty
That's
weird. to
kinda
be
like,
hey,
because I was listening to Rogan the other day, and Rogan's about to start doing now. If they're filming, I get that. Because if like they're doing a Netflix special,
Have a
they
bunch
need
of
the crowd to
lights
be
out.
part of the
Yeah.
film.
Mhm.
But he has this company coming out with them called I think Yonder or something.
Yeah.
And basically, they put your phone in a bag and they lock the bag, but they don't
keep
take.
it.
No, they don't. Yeah, you keep it.
Yeah.
You just can't get to it. And if you need to access your phone for an emergency or anything, you could go to the front desk and have them unlock it. But I'm like, man, look, when I'm performing, the last thing I want to see is somebody on their phone. But I'm not going to be that grumpy old man that tells people, put your fucking phone up. You know?
You don't want to demand, if you want it, hey, you came here.
Why would you accost somebody?
Yeah.
Just like
It is.
focus on another person. Now, if everybody's on their phone, that's when you just give up.
It's when you get to that point where, like,
Yeah.
they have control over that. Like Jack White, he's so big, he's like,
He's
Do
like,
it.
"Don't
yeah,
count on us."
what I
he
want.
can
Yeah.
do it. You know.
Yeah.
I think his disclosure is, it's going to be recorded for you to view later. So just
Yeah.
enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
But, it's just like, even then, man, I'll be looking through my phone, after I save it to my computer, and I'll see a video of Mute Math that we saw 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, dude, I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there. I'm
Yeah, that's why I
immediately
like to take one or
put
two
there.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Just one or two things.
Yeah. It
Like
is an
maybe
experience.
maybe your favorite song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah.
And
Oh,
that-
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that way you have a memento. It's like a souvenir. You didn't have
It
to buy
is,
anything,
man.
but put it away.
Yeah.
And like you were there.
Yeah, you were
too.
there,
It's
yeah.
just, man, yeah. It is special in both ways. So
Yeah.
It's like a dark movie theater and you see someone with their phone in front of you. You just want to, like, kick
Oh, that's
their
when
seat.
that's
Yeah.
that's when you say
Knock
something.
that shit up. Yeah.
it's like,
'Cause
no
then-
pirating.
I'm like, hey, I paid money to be in here. You're not going to distract me from watching this movie. God, like if I was seeing the new Star Wars movie or something and there's somebody on their phone next to me, I would literally call
No
the manager.
thanks.
I'm that petty. I don't
Oh.
care.
I was at Bomb Factory. I saw Portugal the Man.
Oh fuck.
And they played. It was
Yeah.
great. They
Yeah,
played
that was a good show.
when they started "Feel It Still," which is their new single, their big one.
Yeah.
It just became a sea of cell phones. Just everyone. As soon as that
Yeah.
song started, I was like, and because I was at the back of the venue, so all I saw was the light, and I was just like, man, this is the song right here.
Yeah.
It's just, it wasn't until that moment everyone's like, oh yeah, I gotta get.
Everybody pushing to the front and
Because
probably
like
the-
when
yeah.
you're an artist like us, we're we're doing things, but we definitely need as much good PR as we can get. We need as much like real stuff. You want everybody to be filming you because that means they're gonna post it,
Oh,
and that
dude,
means it's gonna
most
be talked
definitely.
about. But you get to
Most
it's like what point do you want people to not film you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what
Yeah.
Like,
when do you
man,
get to that point?
yeah,
when
like
do you draw that
enough,
line?
like-
Because right now, if I see people filming me, that's when I'm like, but it's when they're just texting and they're in the front row or something and they're
Yeah.
just texting. I'm like, why are you even here?
Yeah.
Are you having fun? Like
Yeah. Are you? Do you want to come on stage with me and party? Because like,
You wanna
if that's what
text
it
up
takes
here?
to get you off your phone, I'll do it.
It's kind of like you
We'll crowd
go
surf.
on vacation. You go to see like a different state, different
Yeah,
country.
you chill in the hotel.
You chill in the hotel, or you go watch a movie. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what'd you
Yeah.
come here
That's
for?
kind of
Why
fun
you
to
at
do
the
though
show?
while you're out of town.
Yeah.
Like if you have like an off day at the beach or something, and like you've went to the beach, you had some dinner, or like you got some lunch. Like let's go see the new Spider-Man.
See a movie.
that does sound pretty cool. Like I feel like I'll be like a hotel room,
Yeah, like when we
mall,
were-
restaurant
when we were
kind of
recording-
guy. You know?
When we were recording in Nashville, we had like a night off. We didn't have a night off, but we decided like, hey, we got off early enough. Let's go see Star Wars. You know?
Oh,
Some
man,
of us
that's
hadn't
dope.
seen it yet. I'd
Yeah,
seen it,
that's
but
dope.
because I'm a
Yeah,
huge
that's
Star
dope.
Wars guy. But some of us hadn't seen it, so we just like fuck it, let's go see a movie.
What's Nashville like?
It is
It's
Austin times 1,000.
Whoa,
awesome.
really?
It's
awesome.
the shit.
Wait, awesome
A lot
or
of people.
Austin?
Austin.
Austin.
Both.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Both.
Shit, both. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Awesome. Austin.
Seriously, it's like if
That's
sometimes
so
when I go to
cool.
Austin, I feel a little off put because I'm like not in college and I'm not. I try not to.
Men, dude, it's such
Yeah,
a college
it's-
town.
Yeah.
It's a little off-putting, but you go to Nashville,
Yeah.
it's like everybody who graduated with a music degree goes to live there and work there, and they're no longer in the college grind, so
little more
they're not
matured.
uptight. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
everybody's chilled out, and what's cool is everybody's just normal about seeing other musicians.
Yeah, dude,
Like,
it's super cool.
Carrie Underwood's
casual.
right next to you. You can just say hi, I like your work, and it's fine. You don't have to be like, holy fuck, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood.
That's
you know?
awesome.
It's just the best.
It was really awesome, dude. being
It's
out
like a
there.
secret club
Yeah.
Really.
for working musicians.
That's-
It is the
cool.
best.
When we left, I was like, I kind of want to move out here, man. Everyone's so cool, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it was
thought about
awesome, man. It was awesome.
My first time, I thought about just saying, because I had nothing really for me in Dallas at the time. I was like, what if I just moved out here, worked as a writer, and because you could just go into sessions, and if you get a cut,
Oh,
you get a
dude,
cut.
yeah.
It's residuals.
Royalties.
Yeah.
Especially for musicians too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind
Oh,
of the same
yeah,
thing.
session
Kind of have to know a
players,
guy,
bro.
know a guy though, you know.
Definitely.
But
Of course.
Country guy.
Definitely, yes, definitely.
He was doing that. I forget some country singer. He was on Joe Rogan. He was talking about how he's in
Yep,
Nashville.
I forgot his name. He's a
Yeah.
cool guy too.
He's really He's really
Yeah.
big right now.
He's just now blowing
But
up.
it's a
Is-
country singer.
Is it
Kinda
a
country.
new country singer?
Yeah.
like
It's-
a-
yeah, it's a younger guy.
Is it what's it? Chris Stapleton?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
there it
Chris
is.
Stapleton.
Yeah, that's it.
That was one of my favorite
Yeah.
episodes.
Dude, session musician for years.
Yeah.
He's just now getting.
Yeah, he's
his
like what?
time
He's
to
in his
shine.
30s. He's
He was a
not young,
ghostwriter.
but he's like he's
One
a
song-
young musician.
It's
and-
what is it? Tennessee whiskey. It's huge, but
Yeah.
that's a George Strait song. I didn't know that till
Really?
like a few months ago. But he
Yeah,
he
dude.
covered it. But yeah,
Marcos would always sing that damn song.
Tennessee whiskey.
That's a badass song, dude.
Yeah, it's gorgeous,
Cause
man.
it's sweet strawberry wine. And it's all.
That's
It's gorgeous.
Do
Yeah,
y'all
it's
listen to
gorgeous.
Mute Math at all?
Yeah, I was into Mute Math when Twilight came out.
Oh yeah, they had that
Twilight.
song on
Twilight.
Twilight.
Did they really?
They did,
Ah.
yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
song was. Oh,
I didn't know that was
man.
Mid
Got a
Memphis.
whole lot left to say now.
Yeah.
I love them so much, and they
Yeah.
kind of broke up. And the drummer and the drummer and the bassist, they live in Nashville, and they
Yeah.
do kind of like session
No more
Session
stuff.
work,
touring.
fire
no more
writing work.
touring,
Nope.
man.
So
Now
no
it's
more?
just the singer. And the singer tried to, bring in more musicians to take their spot, but once the new year started, he just kind of, I guess he's doing his own thing. Still keeping the name. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, they're doing. Sounds like they're doing what my drummer did for my My drummer is Paramore's drummer. And-
No way.
Well, he
Holy
was.
shit.
He's
Was,
no longer
yeah.
Paramore's drummer, but
That's
you
Like
know
back in the
Paramore-
day.
Like
recently.
2012, 13,
business
11.
day, misery business time.
All that.
I don't. I see. I don't know. I didn't want to ask him about it. 'cause I
Right,
was
right,
like,
right.
Hey man, you're Paramore's drummer. You know.
No, I want exact dates.
Yeah, because my
you got
producer, when I was
pictures.
doing when I was doing my record, my producer called me up and he's like, "Hey man, I couldn't get you John Mayer's drummer, but I get you Paramore's drummer. Is that all right?"
dude. Oh, dude.
Jesus.
And I'm like,
Dude.
"Yeah, that's cool."
Imagine John-
Can't get you John Bonham, but
Yeah.
I can get you Buddy Rich.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know.
And I was like, "Yeah,
But, you know,
that'll
here's
work
Keith
out."
Moon needs to walk in.
Because
Yeah,
what's
right,
cool is
Keith
he's
Moon.
also Carrie Underwood's drummer and Kelly Clarkson's drummer, and he's currently Kelly
Wow,
Clarkson's drummer. I
dude,
believe.
that's awesome.
Super good drummer.
Yeah, his name is Miles McPherson, and he's probably the best drummer I've ever worked with in my life.
That's
but
cool, man.
what's crazy about that, he'll go on the road, and when he's not on the road making money on the road, he just does these sessions for people like me. You know,
That's
I paid him a flat rate. He signed a contract saying like he didn't own any of the parts or anything, no songwriting credits or anything. He just gets a flat rate. It's a good amount. But what's crazy is it's not a crazy amount.
Yeah.
Like you would think. Like wow, you would think that he would make like 10 grand off the whole thing.
Well,
but-
maybe because he has a lot of things lined up.
Yeah, what's
'Cause
cool
of,
is since
you
I
know.
wasn't a signed artist, I was an independent artist at the time. The rate is it's different.
A little bit higher.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's not whether it's higher or lower. It's literally just different because it's not the same circumstance. Whereas if it's a label, they can shell out more money.
Oh, well, yeah.
But for an indie artist, it's like it's a quick 5-hour session. You record 6 songs. They literally recorded the entire instrumentals for 6 songs in 5 hours. It's
That's
Holy
nuts,
shit.
dude.
all live,
Yeah.
and it sounds like
It's nuts.
we tracked it over months. It's like a quick 5-hour session, and each musician makes X amount of dollars, and that's like not even their whole day.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
That's wild.
If I was like, I'm not that good of a musician as far as like any instruments, but if I was,
Good.
I
We'll say
but
that.
not good enough to be on a record. Like as far
You
as
do
as,
songwriter,
as a
man.
guitar
No.
player.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no, you're good as a
That's-
guitar player.
You could be a
You
ghost
do a little
writer.
solo.
Yeah, dude, most definitely.
Yeah,
Ghost
dude.
writing.
But if I
Yeah.
was, I would literally move to Nashville and just do that job, even if I got paid
Yeah,
Wow.
that'd be awesome.
marginally less than they would. It's still work that it's not even your whole day. So you can do 2 or 3 sessions in a day and make
day.
a couple $100 off each session.
I'm sure he was a nice guy, but like, what is it like? Like you just meet him and you're gonna do this.
Yeah, he
stuff.
already knows
Like,
the
what is
music, and
that?
he just
Oh,
immediately.
really?
Yeah. So how it works is, you hire a group of guys. I hired a drummer, a guitar player, a bass player, and an acoustic guitar player, and a keyboard specialist, and I say specialist because this dude he's actually on our record too, because I rehired him to do our keys for this record just because he's the greatest. His name is David Dorn.
That's
by the way.
nice.
David
You always have
Dorn.
connections too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah,
And
dude.
what happens? Here's how Nashville works. It's like not another animal. So you hire a group of guys. I hired all those guys, and one of them is the band leader / coordinator. So what they do is you send them your demos of you just playing an acoustic guitar on an iPhone and singing the song. You send them a rough BPM of like what it would be at, and obviously it changes once you get in there. Sometimes, most of the time it does. And he spends about a week listening to it. Just one guy. He spends it, and this was Miles, the drummer. He spends about a week listening to it and charts it because in Nashville they have this chart system that they read.
yeah.
They read it like a book. They don't even have to know the music. They literally read it like a book, and it's not a scale. It's like a chart. It's
It's like
another
numbers and diamonds and shit.
Yeah.
It's
What?
really
Symbols,
interesting. Yeah.
Its own language.
It's literally
Yeah.
and this is how all of Nashville works.
Yeah.
All of it.
Mhm.
And basically, the guys show up. They have never met me. They have never heard my music before. Miles hands them their charts. They listen to the demo one time, just me and the acoustic guitar on the iPhone one time. They go in there and track it live. 2, 3 takes, the song's done.
Wow.
It
That's insane.
Yeah,
first time I did it, my jaw was open the entire time.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Dude, we tracked a whole record 5 hours.
Yeah.
It was
wild.
It was-
insane.
yeah, it was-
Obviously, vocals you do over the next few
Yeah,
days,
of course.
but
of course.
all instrumentals, all of them.
Yeah, it was no bullshit, dude. It was like, let's
That's
get to work.
beautiful.
Like we're here. Like let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Get it
Yeah.
done, man.
I just can't
That's
imagine. That's
Yeah, we
pretty
tracked
crazy.
live too.
Yeah,
Released
our,
the
yeah, our
record as
record's
well.
live.
That's-
awesome.
that's-
just
that's
the best way
Yeah,
to
it was
do
like all of us in like, well, yeah, Trent was in another room,
With
but
dubs, obviously, we
Yeah,
do
of
as much as we
course.
can live and then
Of
dub what
course.
we need.
Of course.
but it was like
Yeah.
Casey and Travis and James and myself were like in the same room, like looking at each other, like, doing like stupid like facial expressions with each other. We do on this like at practice and
Yeah,
stuff, so you could kind of like feel that a little bit like on the record, you know? Because
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it's not
want,
so like
man.
robotic.
You want
and,
bare
like,
minimum to have
like, you know?
drums and bass feel like it's live. Everything else can be redone, but
true.
drums and
It's true.
bass need
It's
to
your
have that
foundation.
chemistry.
Rhythm
yeah, it's your
section.
core, yeah.
Yeah, there's no better way to get the chemistry than when they're playing at the same time,
Yeah.
looking at each
Just
other.
yeah, Casey was like this dude sometimes. Like he would come super close to
That's
me.
awesome, dude.
And we're just
That's
like,
so
yeah.
cool.
We had that that experience. We recorded down in Austin with a guy, and I recorded my drums live, and then he lined it up. And after he lined it up and put it perfectly, it was because we didn't record it live. It sounded robotic, and a lot of my fills that they just didn't have that feel. So. We prefer recording live too. Plus, we're
Live
all
is
about
just-
analog and stuff. So
Yeah, you guys
live
do
is
good
the way
shit,
to
man.
go.
Eat, breathe, sleep, and
You guys definitely have a vintage sound, and I've always admired that.
Dude,
I
yeah,
love that you guys are. I mean, I don't know what the status is now, but I love that you guys are a band and you're doing these podcast shows because you guys
Oh,
aren't.
dude.
You're not just journalists. Like
right.
I'm being an asshole, but
No,
like
no,
you're not
dude.
somebody. You're somebody in the business, working in the
That's
business.
exactly right.
So
Band
it's
aspect
like
bands.
by musicians for musicians kind of deal.
Amen, dude.
So you guys can't get too into detail. You don't know when your album's coming out.
No, yeah. Right now we're shopping for mixers.
We're going.
So
okay, okay.
at this point, it could be from March to summer. Definitely, we gotta have it out by summer.
Y'all got a lot
Yeah,
of
for summer.
shows booked
Nice.
up. What's
Oh
what's
yeah,
coming up?
February
We
the
basically
show.
took January off to focus on art and booking shows and just getting our 2018 plan together as best we can. We've got stuff booked in March around Texas. We have stuff booked in April. We're booking stuff in April around the South, and then we're doing a full West Coast run in the
Yeah,
summer.
and then we have an East Coast tour. So our whole like year is gonna be touring a lot.
Yeah, we want to
That's
tour as
awesome.
much
This is
as
like,
possible.
and it's like the first year we ever toured, like actually. So like, it's gonna be fun because we're just like hammering ourselves with
That is so
being in this little
neat.
tube, being homeless.
Yep,
for
I love it.
a whole year.
Yeah.
I
So
love
yeah,
touring.
it's for like
Yeah.
long experience, like
I like-
extended time.
I like it when touring sucks.
Yeah.
And that I don't. Is that weird?
Well, no, because when you're off, then you're gonna wish you were back on.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
so
like
you gotta enjoy-
a bad tour day is better than a good home day in a
Amen
lot of
to
Exactly.
ways.
that, homie.
Exactly.
I like
Amen to
traveling.
that.
I like
Yeah.
traveling.
Who
I like seeing new
doesn't?
spaces, seeing new things,
Eating food,
Just
Yeah,
doing
normally
stuff.
don't eat.
Go
Just
out there.
Just
being out with your homies, you know,
meeting new
Just
people out there.
exploring,
Yeah.
you know?
and showcasing your art to as
Yeah.
many people as possible.
It's true.
Anyone that'll listen, and then some.
Band of brothers, man.
Band of Brothers.
I have a
yeah.
song called "Band of Thieves" on my album, pretty much.
there you
Band of
Yeah.
Thieves. Is that a band? Band of Thieves? What's that one?
You're thinking of
Ban
Band of
all the
Horses.
music.
You're thinking of Band of Horses.
No, yeah,
Band of
Band of
Horses.
Horses.
Yeah, Band of Horses.
Some song. Ban all the music.
Band
Show-
of Thieves. Wait, that is a band though.
Yeah, right.
Band of Thieves is a band.
You were
Is
thinking?
it?
Oh wait, no, Nothing But Thieves.
Oh, nothing but thieves.
There's also
yeah.
Thieves of Sunrise.
Okay.
A lot of thieves out
Lot
there.
of
I was in
thieves.
a,
Lot
my,
of
my past band was called Heroes Among Thieves. So there's that. Yeah.
That sounds kind of metal.
It was. We were metalcore.
Okay.
Picture my
There we
digs
go,
like my,
T.
my duds what I'm wearing now, but picture me like with like eyeliner and shit.
But we still like to wear eyeliner.
Spike like Liberty spikes. That
We
was
just
me.
wear more
Yes. Yeah.
feminine eyeliner than
Yes.
metal eyeliner.
Yeah, we're a little, yeah, we're cooler. I wanted to name a band called Fuck for a long time, like Fuck, but like with the stars in between.
What about like PHUCK?
P
Like the Vietnamese way of like spelling.
fuck, fuck, what the fuck?
Yeah, PHOCK.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because it's
like
pronounced
fuck.
pho.
fuck, fuck.
What would be your
PHO.
favorite
Fuck,
band?
dude.
My favorite
Ah.
band name, one that does exist.
Yeah, like a real band. Like, man, I wish that wasn't taken because I would fucking just
Oh man,
use
I would
that.
own that name.
Radiohead.
Oh, I
Dude,
got it. Okay,
dude.
the 1975.
That's pretty
That's-
cool.
That is
Yeah.
the
That's pretty
greatest band
Yeah.
name / brand name I
Yeah.
have ever
1975.
seen in my life.
Wow.
I get such imagery when I see that band's name.
That's a good,
Yeah.
That's a good
That's
band
like the
name. when it
best
makes
band
That's
you-
name
like,
I've
gives
ever
you a
heard of
good
my
Mine's
image.
like I don't know. Ever since I was like 7, I was like, this band name is so fucking cool, and I named a band after them actually called. That didn't last for like a week, but like it was. I'm still like into this band. It's My Chemical Romance.
Right.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
coolest
Yeah,
fucking name
that
I've
is
ever
the
fucking
best.
heard.
Yeah,
Chemical
I love
Romance.
it.
Yeah, and I read like I was watching an interview, like an old one where like the singer was like still like
Gerard.
yeah, it was like an alcoholic and stuff, and he was just
I'm in love
like,
with him.
yeah, Gerard Way. And they were just like,
great.
yeah, you know, we were a band for like 3 months. We'd tell people like our name, and they would just be like, fuck, man, like why didn't we think of that, you know?
My Chemical
And-
Romance. It is
yeah,
pretty
it is
good.
pretty
Yeah,
clever,
it was
yeah.
cool, and they came from like Jersey or whatever, so like the Misfits and shit. So,
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
what
shit.
a big thing.
I loved My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, man,
growing
that was
up.
one of that's. I feel like that's all of our
Oh, dude, yeah.
first
That's what we
influence.
like,
You know,
yeah,
12,
that's what we
13
grew
years
up on,
old.
man.
Yeah,
Literally.
especially if
Fucking
you like
hear
play
the
an
Black
instrument or
Parade for the
something.
first time. You're going
Yes.
through puberty. Your teachers are cunt. Your parents don't understand you. You want to wear dark clothing. And you hear Black Parade come on. You're like, I will join the
Yes.
Black Parade. You know.
It's just.
I bought a
yeah.
jacket of the Black Parade. 'cause
Hell
I was so
yeah.
into
Yeah.
it.
I worked. My first job was working at Hot
Yeah.
Topic because I fucking love my Chemical
That's
Romance.
fucking awesome, dude.
I was
Hot Topic
17.
the
I was
place.
like,
Yeah.
I made it, yo. I work at Hot
Yeah,
Topic.
right.
I always loved the kind of. Like, that's why I loved My Chemical Romance. Was just over theatrical.
Dude,
just
that's-
so dramatic.
that's why I
so
fell
Not
in love-
afraid to go there.
That's why I fell in love with
Yeah.
him so much. Is like the whole album is just like a story, dude.
Yeah.
Like the Black Parade is like literally a movie.
It's
And
great.
while they were edgy, they weren't edgy to be edgy. They were just trying to have a conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
You
were
know?
still themselves too. Ever since like
Very much so.
the first few like demos they released, like the guitars are
Yeah.
still the same, and
Yeah, even when they did Danger Days, this is one of my favorite bands. Even when they did Danger Days, their last album, their last like full real album, it was very criticized because there was a lot of electronic influences. But man, I loved how they grew, and the whole aesthetic that they had with that album is just it's a monument to how bands should grow over time. If you stay the same and do the same thing like a lot of these like hardcore bands do,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fans don't want to hear the same thing over and
have
over
to
again.
mature as a musician, man.
Yeah.
You have
One Trick
to.
Pony.
Look at U2.
Yeah,
Every
dude.
single U2 album sounds like the same band but a different era.
A different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that's it. Like Incubus
It's
and
true,
like all
man.
these other bands. You know,
Yeah,
they just
Blue
mature.
October. Like
Yeah.
these bands grow.
I think it's
Unless
cool.
you're Radiohead and you're just all
And you're just a fucking badass.
Radiohead.
Dude, you just shoot
Bro.
albums like at, like nothing. Dude.
Radiohead has sound the same since they came out, and they're just so progressive, man. I don't know.
I love
mean,
Radiohead.
anything they put out now sounds like their whole discography. I feel like
Oh, wow.
they have their own. I don't know, man.
I
They're
love
such
it, though.
musicians.
You
I
wonder-
feel like
musicians,
there's
Whatever
a
you s- yeah, go ahead.
There's a few bands that get a pass
bro.
on sounding the same.
Yeah.
Radiohead's one of them.
Oh, dude. Maybe the Strokes too. The Strokes have kind of sound a little bit the same.
See, I would
haven't they?
disagree. I
You
think
they
listen,
sound
okay.
The
Listen
production sounds good, but
to, listen to Reptilia,
Reptilia,
and then that's like one of their old songs.
Yeah, it's a great.
Then go listen to
that Darkness one, or
Undercover of Darkness.
Yeah.
It's night and day difference, but it's
Really?
the same band. You can hear Reptilia was a grungier time for
is,
them,
man.
and
Those
Undercover of
vocals
Darkness
are
is a little
so-
more produced. It's
Really?
like a better quality recording.
Great, yeah, I was
cleaner
way
sounding.
better.
Not so like
it's-
lo-fi-ish kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not-
lo-fi is their name.
Yeah, of
the-
course.
yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So,
But it's a
like,
better
way back-
version of lo-fi.
They never like went crazy and like did like a lot of little like electronic stuff.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Julian did, the lead singer.
Yeah, the singer did.
He did a
Mhm.
solo
He's
project.
a crazy guy.
It's
man.
amazing.
Julian
too. I always tell
Casablanca.
people he's my older brother because we look a lot alike.
That's cool, dude.
I put on if I put on glasses, people tell me I look like Julian like, as
That's
much as I
awesome.
can.
There's a band we saw, kind of reminded us of the Strokes. They opened for Temples. You guys ever?
Yeah, I love Temples, man.
Temples are great. No, the Growlers are great though too.
That's the producers, Julian Casablanca.
really?
Yeah,
I didn't
Oh,
know
the
that.
Growler producer.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
Growler.
cool.
The Growler's producer.
With like leather
Dude, I
jackets.
don't remember their name. I don't remember.
Or,
I just remember
or was it the
Temples.
Brazil band? Because the Brazil band was first. It was like two dudes from Brazil. They were just
Really?
like jamming the whole time. Yeah, they
That's
opened up for the
fucking
Temples.
awesome.
You remember that? Did I? I went.
Then it was
Maybe
at
I
San
went in
Francisco.
eighth grade.
Yeah, probably. But
That was Club Dada.
yeah,
Club
Club
Dada's
Dada's
cool.
great, man.
Dada,
I love
yeah.
when they have
I've
the
always wanted to go
outside
down.
going on.
Dada's
outside's
blast.
Dope, dude. That's really dope.
I saw John Paul White there.
Really?
That was amazing. He's the lead singer. You know the Civil Wars?
Yeah.
That it was that male-female duo.
Mhm.
When they
Oh,
broke
okay,
up, he
yeah,
went
yeah.
solo.
He looks like Johnny Depp.
Yeah, and Johnny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
I
They look
thi-
exactly the same.
I get. There's another band, Civil Twilight, right?
I know that band. I just don't know their music.
Yeah.
I don't know
always
their
get
music.
them mixed. Civil War, Civil Twilight. They're civil.
Civil people.
So damn, a lot of touring coming up. And you
All the
can't-
way, man.
Yep.
2018 is a big year for you guys.
Busy.
We're ready to hit the road, man.
Busy. Yeah.
I'm ready to hit the road tomorrow.
Amen.
Do y'all
But,
have what is y'all's arrangements? Like y'all have a bus, y'all renting a bus.
Working on it, but we've got plenty of vehicles that can haul gear and haul a trailer. Like we've got plenty of vehicles that can make the trip. So even if we don't have a new purchase by then, we'll be able to do it. But yeah, ideal. We'd like to get a bus and a trailer.
Yeah,
Are y'all booking shows yourselves? Y'all have someone, y'all have a
Combination.
manager. Okay.
a little bit of both. Yeah.
'Cause I've
I
always
prefer
thought-
like having someone else book because it's a nightmare when you're just you and no one gives you any respect. You know.
Oh, well,
Musician
yeah.
can focus just on music, dude.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
love
dangerous
booking through
thing.
management.
Middlemen
It's
are
dangerous
really
thing.
important
Yes,
in
Yeah.
this
they
business
are.
because
Yes,
you
they
have
are.
to you use them to get the attention of reputable venues and reputable artists.
Yeah,
And
especially when you're going out of Texas. You
Yeah,
know, and
exactly.
You're a new band, you
you
know.
know, but
Yeah.
you can't just go on the road and play like nothing like you have to work smart. You can't work hard. You
Dude,
gotta work smart.
yeah.
So it's best. So we're young guys, and our biggest markets are college towns. So we're booking shows right now in just college town as much as we can. This summer we're gonna do big cities because everybody's out of college,
Yep.
but we're still gonna try to book to the college market, and
That's smart.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Any big festivals that y'all know? South by anything like that or?
We were a
I
little
don't-
late on South by. but
Well, what happened? We weren't late, but South by kind of requires you to have
Like-
current music.
Yeah, they need you to have like UPK
of
out
course,
already
of
and
course,
stuff, and
yeah.
we don't really have any of our mixes, so
Yeah,
There's so
which
many
sucks 'cause
bands.
like-
we did it last year
Right
before
there,
Trent,
yeah,
but
right.
yeah.
Yeah, we're right at the threshold, but it's all good. We'll get on some festivals
Yeah.
this summer.
And hopefully we'll do like some Texas ones like Float's cool
Yes.
and
Float, yeah.
there's like higher
There's
ground.
also
there's a
Debellum
million
there's a
Festival
million
Arts Festival
festivals,
too,
especially-
Debellum.
Huh?
Yeah, we'll probably do the
Debellum
arts
Arts
festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
The
probably
Arts
do the
Festival.
arts festival somehow.
Arts
That's a nice
Festival would be
stage,
cool.
yeah, it's a nice stage.
What
always
is
wanted
Float? Float is.
Float's like in Austin, I think, right?
I don't know.
Or just San Marcos. Or
That's the one like where they're on the
Yeah,
river,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
yeah,
and like
that's
yeah,
that
and like
area, yeah.
bands like the Grizzly Bear and shit are playing like
That's cool.
and, like the Shins like
There's
like
so
it's a
many
dude, it's a good it's a good festival.
I like what I'm seeing more with festivals is just such a wide range of artists. You
Yep.
have all kinds of-
Everything.
and that's like goes
Yeah.
back to this day and age, man. It's
Yeah.
just more open,
Yeah.
and everyone's
is.
more. They have respect to the greats. You know,
Yeah.
they're influenced by all these greats
Yeah,
and classics,
sure.
but they're trying to do something new, and they're infusing a lot of these classic,
Yeah.
together. They're
What's cool is you can go to a
Yeah.
festival and everybody can be happy. Like you go to Bonnaroo, man, they have everybody ranging from old '80s bands to Dead Mouse. Like they have
Wow.
everything. You
You know,
That's cool.
so that's what's cool about these
That's
festivals is like you can get. It's easier to get on when it's a larger demographic that you can pander to. You know.
I heard I was watching a podcast with the Black Keys. What is his name? Black Keys.
Dan
Aykroyd.
Auerbach?
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
No, not Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Auerbach?
Auerbach.
Dan
Auerbach.
Aykroyd.
Not Dan.
Is that how you say his name?
But he was saying that festivals. He was saying festivals pay better, but as a musician, you know, they don't necessarily like doing them because their own shows, he gets a 3-hour set. You know, they can really go all out. But a festival, you're mixing as they're going, and then it's only a 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's like
set.
you got this amount of time
It's
to
rough.
get your shit out. And then
But he said the
play.
pay was better on festivals. I was like,
Yeah, but also the crowds are a lot better in a
Oh,
lot of ways
dude,
because
your
that's what. And that's,
exposure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exposure at festivals.
You know,
is
I'm
where
definitely
it's
not
at.
the kind of guy that will accept a gig for free, but when the exposure is real,
Yeah.
that's when you have a little bit more of a leeway where it's like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
well, if we can open up for, let's say,
100 plus people.
yeah, let's say we open up for a band that sells out trees. So this happened to me. I opened up for my producer's band. He sold out trees. We weren't paid that much, but I'm recognized around town all the time.
Dude, yeah.
Pretty much specifically from that show.
Major.
It was because it was 1,000 people, you know, and
That's awesome.
it
There's a fuckload of people that show.
Yeah, he was the guitar player for that show. That was for Trent Rush.
I remember like when the curtains opened, he was like, "Fuck!" Like, he
Yeah,
looked-
I just,
like the
go-
first thing he ever said, and it was
I
like,
go,
it was like,
"Oh
he
my
backed
God."
up the mic, and I was like,
I just said, "Oh my
I
god."
was just like, "Yeah, let's do
It
it."
was one of the greatest moments of my life.
That's awesome, man.
that's one of the things
It's
I like
crazy
about
seeing that many
Curtain
heads.
Club is when they pull the curtain.
Yep,
and then
the
it comes
curtains.
back, and we
Yeah.
had a really big show, and it's just when that curtain pulls back, and you're like,
Yeah, it's
the
He just like
best.
look at you, it's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, man!"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I give
And it's
everybody
like,
a
we
high
fucking
five
did
and
it.
a hug. Like, I
Tear
love
the
it.
stage up.
Yeah. It's like everybody's always freaked out. Like, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm nervous when there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like
That's usually when I get kind of weird. Yeah.
we played a show where it was just slowly people leaving, like slowly
Dude, that's
dripping.
the worst
fine.
too,
It's
man. When you
always-
see people leaving, man, like,
But hey, as long as there's
headline.
man, if there's one person paying attention though, that's when it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you the best damn show of your life.
Yeah.
It's
It's
when
true,
there's
man.
literally
Really
nobody.
They
I
had
went
room.
all the way to Houston one time and I
Bartenders
played
are
this
on their phone, not even watching you.
dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I played
it's the
this. I
worst.
played this acid house venue in fucking Houston one time, and it was I missed hanging out with the Struts again to go do this gig, and literally the only other person in the room is the bartender. Not even the sound guy. Sound guy fucking left after he checked me. Literally the only
Isn't
person.
that the
in-
worst?
is this
Like,
massive- it was a
Good
massive
luck.
warehouse too, so I was just reverberating through this massive concrete warehouse.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the only person in the room was my touring assistant and the bartender. And the bartender had earmuffs on. But she, in her defense, she was actually autistic. So, and they warned you like she had to sign up. So, and she had like a sensory issue. So, I get why she.
Seems like a bad place to
She wasn't.
work at a.
yeah,
I
it
think
kinda seems
her.
like
I
a
think
bad
her
place to
family
be
owns the
at.
place or something.
Oh,
was-
okay.
It was a very crazy place, man. There's like Christmas decorations up all around. It was.
Dude.
It's called. I'll tell you off the air because I don't want to shit talk venue on the air. But I'll tell you
All
off the
good.
air. It's
Yeah,
it's-
shit talk after.
It's it was a very bad
Sorry
gig
again, Rockwall.
and a very bad experience.
Cockwall.
I'll shit talk.
Cockwall, yeah.
Cockwall.
Somebody did it my senior year. Somebody did that. They replaced the R with a C. That was their senior prank.
Legendary, dude.
I
I would
don't
have
think
done.
they
I
got
would have done
caught
it.
too. I was like, you fucking go, you get it.
It's like in Arlington, they used to put like soap bubbles in the fountain.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you meant the water fountain. I was like,
The
what
water
the-
fountain, yeah. They
Yeah.
put
Oh,
bubbles
no,
in
like
water
the
fountain.
drinking water fountain.
Oh God! no, there's a fountain of a bull.
It'd be kind of cool. Put like dye in it or
Everyone's
something.
water. It's hilarious.
Replace it with Gatorade.
Sometimes you got to go to those shows though. You know, like you just. That's the shitty part about what we do is you have to take that. You
Yep.
don't know. You
Hey,
just
it
have
builds
to
your
go
character,
through
man.
Dude,
It's
yeah,
also-
it's like
good
it's
for
like,
you.
dude, it's like hit or miss, man. It's-
Always, but you never know. That's why you got to give it your all.
But
Just
what's
like
cool
you
is
said.
we're
It's like
starting to get into
Christmas.
the point where
every day.
What's cool is we're starting to get to the point where
Lots
there's
of-
there's no hit or miss. Like there's people at every show.
Oh,
That's-
And-
especially if you're- yeah.
It's just this really cool feeling because I've never been in a project that had this kind of attraction to it, and it's just got that spark, man, and that's why I wanted to. They've been begging me to be the singer forever, and I've been begging them to be my band forever. So I figured, fuck it, one of us has to cave. So I figured I will because they're a young band, and I'm in a band with no offense to my dad and Dave, but like they're older guys, and
Yeah.
it was a rock band, but it was my name. Like it wasn't the best, most accessible project, and I'm still pushing my album, but it's almost strictly online, and anybody who likes it wants to listen to it can, and I'm ever grateful. I make
I make a couple bucks off it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be a part of this, and I'm so glad I did because they wanted me to be a part of it so bad.
Most
And
definitely.
Very long
It's just
time.
Especially when it's
the
a
two
mutual
puzzle
thing.
pieces.
Yeah, if it's a mutual thing, dude. It's dangerous.
exactly. I needed them, and they needed me equally.
Amen. dude.
Hardcore.
Y'all
It's 4
complete
against
each
1.
other.
You had to cave at one
So
point.
now
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
They're gonna take
exactly.
you to that dark alley again and beat you up.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'd be like, do it.
Just do it this time. Don't tease me.
Shit. We appreciate you guys coming out.
Absolutely.
This was
Sure.
fun. This is our first one, so
Yeah.
it's a little,
Congrats.
you know,
This is
yes.
awesome.
Yeah, man, most definitely.
It's awesome.
Retro Records.
Dude,
This is
yes.
awesome.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much,
really good
man.
to
Yes,
hear.
yes,
Man,
yes.
thanks, man.
Go under- Yes,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you, thank you. Wild Frontiers.
Wild
First one,
Frontiers,
yeah.
baby. Ah!
Retro Lab Records signing off.